Hi, everyone. Debbie Kelly. I'm back with you with a really exciting grant. This is called the Food Insecure Urban Ag Grant through the Missouri Department of Agriculture. This grant is really exciting because it actually is going to help you pay for things that a typical grant is not going to pay for. And that's why it's exciting. So really take consideration of this grant because it could potentially really help you in the long run. So the urban areas, everybody sees it. Who are the eligible urban areas? We'll see that Cape Girardeau, Lee Summit, Joplin, St. Joe, Kansas City, St. Louis, Columbia, Springfield are always listed as those urban areas. But if you click on this link here that says Missouri Urban Clusters, it will take you to another site. And on that site, you'll have to scroll down partway through that whole list of cities. It will say Missouri Urban Clusters. And you'll notice there are gobs and gobs of towns all across our state that are considered an urban cluster. So like Ava, Missouri, Brookfield, Chillicothe, Rolla, Sykeston, all of those areas, a small town and a medium-sized town, are considered Missouri urban clusters. So go out onto this particular link on this page, on this slide, and see if your actually town area where your farm is could be considered a Missouri urban cluster. I think you'll be surprised. I know I definitely was. So check it out. So what is a Food Insecure Urban Ag Grant? It's going to be initiatives that are going to actually help to increase food production and make it available for the local residents of that particular urban cluster in which you live. They're looking to help to grow the local economy. They're looking to establish areas so that folks can be able to eat local and eat healthy foods. They're looking at having any of those expenses that they're going to give to you for your farm to actually address food insecurity in your particular location. So how can the funds be used? So the purpose of the grant, which is how they can be used, is looking at food insecurity. How can they reduce that? How can they increase or assist these funds to increase food production and make it available for folks in your particular area? The other part of this is looking at production infrastructure, and that's really important and key. It's infrastructure. Most grants will not pay for that. They're also looking to help with direct distribution venues. How do they actually get it from the farm to those people? That's also something to think about. They're looking at reconstruction of product facilities, maybe your packing shed, or if you've got a licensed kitchen on the farm, what types of things can you actually do with this particular grant? And you can do some of that infrastructure. So this is really, really, really exciting for this particular grant. So what are some examples of eligible expenses? So they're looking at anything that's going to be a supply. They like for you to call the Department of Ag and be able to talk about what your project is. What are some of the supplies that you're thinking that you might need, and try to get some pre-approval with that so that you actually, once it's submitted in, they know really what's going on. It will help with reconstruction or actually new construction of facilities. It can help with electrical work that needs to be done, lumber, build out materials, plumbing, irrigation. This is an example of a cool bot in this particular picture. So a cool bot is going to be this black little unit that's on the wall is a cool bot. Don't ask me how it works. I only know how to put gas in my car and drive it. I don't know how the engine works. But this cool bot here actually talks to and visits with this wall unit air conditioner, and it actually gets it so that it keeps that coolness in this particular insulated room so that it can keep your fresh produce, as well as in this example, cut flowers to keep it as like a walk-in cooler, which is really, really a great concept. And it's not that expensive for these individual items to put this cool bot together, especially if you've got some grants that are there behind you to help to support it financially. So expansion or enhancement of existing current facilities, such as this cool bot room, maybe a greenhouse, some irrigation locations, some different kinds of equipment that you might need, small scale types of equipment that could really help you on the farm that generally a grant will not pay for. Will also help to pay for a feasibility study, an outside third-party entity perhaps, to actually do a feasibility study to see if your concept of what you would like to do in a value-added area or your idea of how you might like to expand your food production to increase, to scale up production, all of that kind of stuff, and you're not sure if you're really going to make money or venture out, the feasibility study is something that you could utilize with these funds as well. So what are examples of ineligible expenses? So food, so you can't buy food to resell food. That is definitely something you can't do. Won't pay for vehicle or fuel expenses, just salary. Even if you want to hire folks to help you out, it won't pay for that. Any kind of donation or contributions, of course, that's never allowable in any grant that I've ever known. Supplies and expenses that were not previously approved, so you want to make sure you do talk with the Department of Ag. Building lease costs. So if you've got an idea and you want to lease something, it's not going to be eligible. And then if you've already got a current grant with the Department of Agriculture that's assisting you presently for an opportunity of what you're doing, this will not help to supplement what you're already doing. It has to be two totally different projects, from at least from what I understand. I like this picture here. It was at a farm. It's called a bubbler. So it's a big round black tub filled with water. The PVC pipes are at the bottom. You turn the electric on and it bubbles up all over the place. And so you can put your leafy greens in there and it will help to settle the sediment and the dirt that might still be on some of those leafy greens to kind of give it that first initial wash. The white that you see on the top of the water there, that was just the reflection of the light that was overhead when we were in this packing house. So there's nothing wrong with that water, especially when we're talking about food safety and you're like, oh my gosh, what's in that water? It's just the reflection of the light above that particular bubbler. So is there a financial match? Yes, there is. You can ask for up to a total of $50,000. Of that $50,000, you have to pay 25% of that $50. So you can ask for $50,000. 25% of 50,000 is 12,500. So you will then need to come up with $12,500. That would then give you a total of $62,500 that you would have available to be able to purchase and to do items. And so a cash match, so your 25% here can be done as a cash match as well as an in-kind match. So the cash match is half, can be up to half, and then the in-kind match could be the other half of that 25 cents on the dollar. So you'll take that 12,500, which is your 25% match. Of that, you're actually getting $6,250 as a cash that you need to supply, and then you can have, for example, your own salary as a donation in kind. Some of your employee time salary could be in. Maybe somebody's giving donations to you. Volunteer hours. Some farms have volunteers that come out to help on the farm. All of those can come into play for that in-kind match. So in reality, you've got $50,000 that you can get a grant for up to, and then you'll have your additional $6,250 as a cash match. And then you have the in-kind of $6,250. Can you ask for below $50,000? Sure, you can ask for $32,000 if that's what you want. But then you'll have to come up with 25% of the $32,000. You can divide that in half with cash and in-kind match to be able to meet that 25%. So this is a really great financial arena for you to actually go out and get some things, especially if they're willing to pay for some equipment, supplies, and infrastructure that grants normally won't pay for. So what is the timeline for this? So we have a maximum award of up to $50,000. Submission is due August 31st, so there's a quick turnaround. They'll notify the recipients in September. You then will be able to supply your reimbursement request which are due on November 30th. So that's also a key important thing to think about, is that they're going to ask you to purchase all of these items ahead of time, or after you get awarded, you purchase those items, you pay for those out of your own pocket. Then you take those receipts and you turn them into the Department of Agriculture to be reimbursed. The final report, which they'll ask you to do a report on what it was that you actually did with this project. That's due on April 1st of 2023. And then they'll have either someone with the Department of Agriculture or a designated person that will actually come out and inspect the farm to verify that what you said you were doing in the application, you actually did, and you installed it and it's working and the project's moving forward. And that inspection should be completed before May 1st of 2023. What are some examples of projects? A farm feasibility study, as I explained before, is a new idea or concept actually going to make you money and actually be able to provide additional food in your local community and be able to help those that are food insecure. So that would be really good if you're looking for a new idea. You can check it out ahead of time to see if it might actually work. Someone put in the past an urban apiary, and these are the kinds of things that they asked for in that particular grant. Security cameras, seeds, plants, soils, irrigation equipment. Everybody, especially during the drought, is looking to put in irrigation. Signage, even a laptop that's going to be utilized for record keeping track of any kind of records that you need on the farm, as well as perhaps doing some education so that you can create PowerPoints if you're going to be doing education to your consumers about your food and what you're growing and selling. Maybe you've got an agriculture education center or would like to build one, and try to get that education started to the consumers and to the constituencies of the areas where you live. And you can buy these different kinds of supplies. They're just examples on this screen of what people have actually purchased in the past with this grant. Then we also have other examples because we're looking at food. So food is not just the produce that you're going to have on the farm, the fruits and the vegetables. It could also be those value-added products that you might be making on the farm or in a licensed kitchen where you actually are trying to prep some food and make that final product. So if you've got meal kits that you're putting together, you need cold storage, refrigeration, a washing station, some tools and equipment that are going to be in the kitchen. Maybe there's a piece of equipment that you need. I know someone the other day was talking about a flash freezer that they wish they could purchase. This grant could be able to do that for you. You might have a processing kitchen where you're actually doing that, a food hub, for example. If you need to buy some new sinks, replace some of those different equipment, walk-in cooler, electric panels, plumbing, gas lines. I like this picture because it shows that the ovens are in the background of these two push carts where they've got the trays of prepped food that are going to be cooked and put into some meals. So lots of ideas that you guys can come up with where this funding could be of great use to you. So who can you call for additional information beyond just this little bit of what I told you? You can get a hold of Whitney Williams. She's a marketing specialist with the Missouri Department of Agriculture. Her phone number and email are up here on the screen, as well as the website link for the RFA. The RFA is the referral for application, and then the actual application itself is this PDF. And what you can do is read through it, and then type your actual answers to the questions that are there in those spots into this PDF, and then you can save that. But again, if you've got questions, give Whitney a call. I know she'd be more than happy to visit with you. She did with me when I was asking her some questions for clarity, and I know she'd be happy to visit with you. If you have an idea and you're not sure if you think it would be a good idea, you're welcome to give me a call. My phone number is 636-797-5391, or drop me an email. My email is going to be my last name, first initial. Again, I'm Debbie Kelly, so it's KELLYD at spell out Missouri.edu. And don't let this one pass by if you're looking to purchase some things that normally a grant will not pay for.